Okay. All right, guys. Well, you can't even hear me because I got to get the phone call back on as soon as CameraFi. Come on, I got plenty of bars. You can do it. You guys might even be on. Okay, guys. Here I am. Backwards? What? Whoa, that was wild. Okay, so I got to suspend this broadcast, but it's on to get the phone call back on. So, yes. Cool. Please work, please work, please work, please work, work. And I won't be able to see your comments too much, but because my hotspot, I just turned it off to remove that possibility. And so, how are you guys doing? And so, I'm here in Alabama. There's a beautiful fountain that was back there. Let's check your chat. Hello. And so, I'm going to continue, and I'll have to look once in a while to see how you're doing. Bring it closer. Okay, yeah, it was a really nice fountain back there, and it's like, oh, let's turn it off. Patrick's going to broadcast. And so it's like, whatever. I'm in Alabama, Central Time Zone, and so I want to thank you guys for showing up. It's a very interesting situation, as you know. If not, you should be highly suspect about the situation. So yeah, it was a really cool fountain. I found this gazebo, I think in Oxford Lake. Cute little lake, and that's good enough the way it is. And so, is everything working well? Do me the tech check, please, and let's see what's happening. So yeah, the gazebo's all lit up, very little lighting. Okay, is it working? And so, yay. Oh boy, what an interesting time. Camera, audio. And so, that'd be funny if there was actually a, all right. Yay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for attending this August 5th, 2018 broadcast of the Kartron Experience. I actually have my little light in case they turn the lights up on the gazebo. And so I'm here in Alabama, and this is the second episode of the 22nd season, and this is about the new past self. And so everything's good. Okay, good. I'm going to speak loud enough for this, but it's really interesting. Wow. I myself am going through this really interesting situation because there's this whole other level of dynamics. Everything from that sovereignty search that I'm checking into, which is totally different now than what I'm used to this other timeline stuff that's going on. Have you guys noticed a real interesting, rather unusual wonkiness that's happening? Thank you guys for supporting this because it's allowing me to go on this journey that I see as necessary. And so we're going to have a few diagrams, and YouTube doesn't make them go backwards. And so it's like, what's happening? Yes. And so, yeah, I'm going to get right into this because it's like I don't want to have anything messing with the situation. Hopefully the park stays open. It's 10 o'clock here. And so Kartron's going to come through, and he'll explain it rather than me trying to. But basically, we're going to really do the juicy stuff compared to last night up there on that giant granite boulder. If you saw that, that was an introduction of it. But now it's time to get into the really good stuff. Ironically, I feel like no matter what I would say this month, almost wouldn't do the honor of this. And you, Randy Bigfoot, had mentioned how there was some really advanced concepts that were being mentioned. And yes, it is. It's like you have to have the opportunity to allow yourself to be able to comprehend that because it's so different than what we have been made available to us and programmed to that it's like hard to really, see just exactly how this fits in. So that's what we're going to do, and we'll get right into it. Kartron's going to come through now. And basically, this will be adding two different parallel timeline continuums, one for the spiritual aspect, and which you'll see how this works, and one for the physical life that was introduced last night, because we're actually creating a new past self by creating a new point, a new access point. And now that we've done this to the timelines in July, it's time to really start redefining ourselves. Oh, these ducks are so ugly and they're funny. They're walking by. They're probably going to show up for the show. Again, that's a little late. So we'll see you guys later, and life is good. Hello, guys. How are you doing? You're welcome, Kalis, for those upgrades. We are getting close so we can see this. We'll get right into the meat of the matter. Everything is working, we presume, because the technology seems to be working well. All right, so you guys have a situation. Your present self is no longer serving you. We want to thank you for attending this August 5th, 2018 broadcast of the Kartron Experience. This is about a new past self, because the past self is necessary so that we can have a reference for the future self, which is connected to the heaven self, and the knee bone's connected to the leg bone, and so then the earth self, because we are re-referencing you geometrically. Your carbon-based life forms can only go so far as being a reference for a plane that's coming in of the new Earth, which is so beyond a physical corporeal capacity of a hologram that's solidified energy into matter. And so it's necessary in order to have your spacesuit, basically. And really, this is a real spacesuit, because we're actually going to be creating a capacity of your presence in space and reality. And you notice we didn't say time, although that's working. So tonight, last night, on that rock, the big rock, we talked about this stuff. And this was about literally your divine stuff. So here is the diagram, right? So you have your present you self, and this is a plane, one plane, right? So this is like Earth. And so here's your present you self. Is this forward? Yes, oh goodness, thank you, YouTube, for not being as dumb as Facebook. And so there's the past self point, right? And then there's the masculine and the feminine. So it's like it's you being balanced in the feminine, masculine, and it'd be reversed to you. And so your present self, you self, is what we call the ego intellect, is the thing that everybody references. But boy, is that becoming no longer a necessary thing, right? It's like it would be so limiting to still consider yourself merely human. And so if you're going to be doing this new Earth thing, then you better have all of your capacity set up. That means that you are going to be, creating a really nice situation that will allow you to have the capacities necessary that you can integrate. You could also consider the heaven aspect on week 3 to be yourself as God. And then on week 4, the Earth, where we bring it in, really will be transforming the planet at the same time, because your presence changing into that new race that Rebecca had referred to is as a God being self landing on Earth. Basically, you are creating a new Earth. And so it's necessary to go back into your past, your current past, and create a situation to where you will then be able to redefine yourself as to who you are. Does that make sense? Could you please respond? And me presume the tech is still working because we're scanning it. So we're going to activate your you self, and then we're going to activate your soul self. Here come the ducks again going by. That's so nice. And the policemen are watching. Yay! Remember that one time on the beach in Clearwater, the policeman came by and gave us pretty lights. And he was like, hey, this is for, to add to your show. When he found out there was a broadcast and they couldn't find that strange yelling fellow who was hiding from the cops, and we were just doing our broadcast thing. So, are you guys ready for this? Yes, we are, Kartron. Now, in order for you to do this, we are going to be doing this. So here's the present you self. In this moment, you in a body. At least that. It's like a cosmic booger. No, thank you. Oh, God, it's on me. And so then we're going to go back into the past, but we're going to create a point. Now, in order to do that, we're going to need a triangulation. So we've added some qualities on here, right? And how do we do that? Well, we got to add your higher self. So this is the upper vertical, right? Higher self. And then this is the same pattern, right? So we add another dimension. It's like making it spatial. And so as you do this, then we now have a higher self to activate the present soul self, which then we can create a different past, which we will then show on the final diagram. And we're going to put a marker in Atlantis when things were so much less messed up. And so, does that sound good, you guys? Do you consent to having yourselves being redefined as to who you were? Because really, that whole past dysfunction, shadow, stuck on war, conflict, whatever, is so last paradigm. And it's like, really, where did that come from, first of all? And then how can that even apply to who you are right now? It's like, ugh. So, let's rock this joint. Archangel Metatron, yes, we're going to have him open up the gateway of the lesser throne of God. Archangel Michael, we are going to have you sound the clarion callers, open the portal to the grand hall of the archangels. We've got a lot going on, so the order is not in the same sequence. Beautiful spiders here, big ones. And so, now we're going to take you guys and you're going to fall back into your soul. We can do 4 breaths with the violet flame blanket, but on the count of 3, we're just going to open up the soul self. Remember this technique we did? And then you're just going to fall back into your souls. So 1, 2, 3, take a deep breath. And on the exhale, release everything as the curtain which separates you from your soul within all parts open. And then you just fall back into that. Feel yourself emoliating like we have gotten you there before. Now feel this integrating. This is not dishonoring that process. We are just basically simplifying and streamlining it because it's time for practical divinity. It's a beautiful reflection over here, but we don't want to alter the process. All right, so now we have this, right? You're in your present soul self, as well as your present ego, the me self or you self, right? So now that we have that established, feel this, let it integrate, circulate, emoliate, circulate through your veins, the God light, because that's the blood of heaven. This is interesting. This is from 2015, and it was given to Metatron. And so Patrick's like, I'm on a soldier, and so Big M, we're going to wear your jewelry. It's a very nice one with purple little gems and stuff on it. And so the nature of this process is so that you can be redefined. So we have to establish a new past self by establishing a point pre-distortion. That is why it's necessary to go before the shadow yoga came in 13,000, approximately 338 years ago, to about 14,353 thousand years ago, because there was a cycle where the falling of Atlantis and everything, and then this landmass came up, and it on another dimension, because some people say, oh, this had an ocean on it millions of years ago, but we are talking about another transdimensional state. All right, so now let's get on with this, because you guys are going to be using your points and references, and it looks like we have good battery. This new phone seems like it's doing a really good recording, does it not? A bit better lighting. Oh yes, we're illuminated from below. And so now we are going to take this soul self and we're going to expand it out past your flesh. So 1, 2, 3, to see the soul getting bigger and brighter and just burning you up, turning you into a light body made from the source light of the heart of God. So as you're like this being on fire, not like somebody who's really active and a lot of hyper energy. You really are on fire, and it's a cosmic fire. So you may not even feel heat, but it's like, whoa. All right, so now we take this energy and we emoliate it, and we're going to put a crystal pillar of light. Now, we're not doing earth stuff, right? This is just to get you to where you can access a new past. So we're going up to the higher self now by putting a pillar between your soul self and your higher self. This will be the reference here. So 1, 2, 3, crystal pillar, or like a scepter, going up, intersecting your higher self, no further. not up to heaven or whatever. We're keeping it really contained because this is about you guys. This is about you getting your new bodies. You see, here's what's happening. Once you get this done this month, you will be your own, you'll have your own time space. You will be your own self-referencing continuum capacity, and you take your time with you. And the benefits of that are you are not confined to the continuum of the timeline that you go into. Can you tell we're getting you ready for travel? Is everything working still? Okay, good. Yes, people do love these pictures, don't they not? And so now we have a geometric process, right? Because we're going to now create this past point. And then we'll show you what we're going to do with the next structure of this. So this is vertical, this is horizontal, right? And this is left-right, feminine, potential, kinetic, masculine. All right, so now we're going to take and we're going to expand this out. We're going to take a little soul light to your left and right self, your masculine, feminine, because we're going to take that. And so just feel this light going out and see this like this little pillars on your left and right male, female side. Now we're going to join these energies up to the higher self that's been energized by the soul light that's coming from within you going up. Okay, so now you see we got a triangulation, right? So you got this and you got this. This is very stable as far as a planar existence in a present moment of a linear capacity. So now it's time to open the time gauge like we did yesterday on the Stone Mountain. Oh, by the way, the Atlantean records there may be available to some of you, but don't get too lost in them because there's a lot of data. It'll be like, but you've got to be actually showing up because what's going to happen, you guys are going to be called and invoked. The world getting ready to go through its real reset, economically and financially and everything else. There could be so fundamental changes that you could be actually the ones to maintain a capacity of peace in the transition of dimension. And so imagine holding a place and saving lives when you are able to hold that place and allow that spirit of heaven to come in and everybody to go through their chaos at the same time. You've got this, and you're able to be very stalwart, steady, because you're not in any particular dimension. You're in all of them that are relevant. And so how important is that if you are one of these pegs between dimensions and this energy needs stabilized? If you guys weren't a part of this, it could really be like all thrown off, anarchy, weird stuff, and the whole system starts breaking down. It's not even functional for the shadow. So even the religions are going to be reconfigured to the point where the truth about what's going on interdimensionally is going to show up. How shocking is that? With the belief, the economic, the lawful, and governmental, even environmental and social systems all going, whoa, what's going on? Because they're losing their reference to the third dimension of linear time, tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. And so when that goes, and the whole reference goes, there goes all the things that they use to reference themselves. Oh, I'm going to go and I'm going to do my errands today and I'm going to get this done, one thing after another, suddenly goes, what do? I just feel like doing this. It's like, hello. And you guys, as veterans of this light work, are going to become very valuable as you help them and not only bring peace to your neighborhoods or maintain peace and harmony, but you're going to allow them their stories of letting them freak out the chaos because they're going to be deprogramming from this dysfunctional paradigm of fear, lack, domination, and basically a military construct of a dimension of war. This whole thing is based upon conflict. Show us where peace is predominant. You have the authority figures that are supposed to be in service, and in actuality, they're the ones trying to suppress the people, the very people that they work for. How backwards is that? So everything's going to have its little heyday, and it's going to be real special. So that's why it's important to do this right now. You guys are going to have your references, and it's time to access not only your earth life incarnation, past life talents and abilities, but we're going to have to bring in the other stuff as well. So now remember, on the count of three, let's go up to your higher selves. 1, 2, 3. You're over the veil of life and death. You know, the one that you have to remember to forget to come into a body, because if you knew everything, it would just suck and you wouldn't be functional as a separate being. Oh, I'm incarnated. I'm not one with everything. And I got to be separate. Oh, God, it would seem so stupid to you. You'd probably go crazy from insanity of boredom and looking at this and saying, really? That just happened? And so it's safer that way to not know everything. You'll get all that later. But right now, let's get this going. So now, see yourself in your higher self. You can see your guides, all the light realm up there beyond the veil of life and death. Okay? And so now we're going to send this pillar back, but first we have to get to that place, right? We're not just going to log a thing. And so now we're going to open up the time gate that we did. It was a six-sided one that we did a pulse action, and it went boom, 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 each incarnation, right? So it went back a few, but if we did all this, people would be going, and that's not fair to them. They will pay. And so one way or the other, through freak out, through energy, through psychological adjustment, to waking up, to putting a PayPal in or whatever payment happens one way or the other. That squeal that you're hearing is not a bird. It's a ceiling fan in the outside of an Alabaman gazebo on a beautiful night whose fountain decided to hide from us. And so, are you ready? Yay! Kartron, we've been ready. We are designed ready. All right, so now we're going to take this timeline, remember, and we're going to move it. And we keep going all the way to before the fall. So this will be about 14, 15 millenniums ago. And so as we do this, just feel it going. Remember, time is like this graph on the wall. And we're just moving it. So in other words, we're moving the timeline past you. You're not going through time. And we're not even the concept of time travel. We're just actually taking this reference that they've used to monitor the evolution of humanity. And as we do this, right, you go to this place and you get to this place where you can feel it, where you can feel things are really good. All right, so tell us when it is. And it's like you can feel the different signatures, the different civilizations, Rome, Greece, Byzantium, all of that. Okay, so we get to this space where it really feels different. That's like Atlantis. And so it's right about there. Okay, so now we're going to put another crystal scepter there. This is going to go, remember, you're in your higher self realm. And we're going to mark this down, 1, 2, 3, now into your earthly self, whichever incarnation that was. Even if you weren't incarnated, we do that now. All right, so now in your human level, you have this pillar scepter thing. And on the ethereal level, where destiny is, where the soul has always predominantly descended into the different lives, put parts of itself in there, here you are here. So this is literally the two pathways of energy. With your soul energy, you as light workers have had this destiny, timeless, of changing the world, fulfilling prophecy, bringing heaven to earth, basically being the chosen ones. And so, but how often, basically every time, you get bounced out. Now, one of the things isn't about evil attacking you. It's the vibrational unavailability of the density of polarity compared to the vibration of the energy of the divinity that you are bringing in. So if you are too vibrationally high, it gets too heavy and you'll like bounce out of the atmosphere like a satellite that would bounce off of the atmosphere, or a comet, and it goes off into space. It just is not available to come in because it's too heavy. And so there's no place to fit this light of your destiny program. So again and again and again, it skips out. And especially when they did this artificial thing of constant war and conflict, and we got to be negative. If we don't have a war, we got to remember all the wars. And it's like, really? And so this programming was designed to create a glitch, to keep humanity from raising up, because they need a planet of slaves that they can mine the life force of. Sound familiar? Just look around you. And so, yes, the good managed sheeple are like, yes, sir, I will go do my jobs and pay the taxes, and I will work hard and get back to zero and spend 5 times the value of my house on the thing called the mortgage, and then I'll get to pay it off. Well, that's a real smart system, not for you. And so, ooh. All right, so now we do this. We got the crystal scepter in the Atlantean field, which is very different. Do you guys feel that? Okay, now let's do the other part. We're going to trade places with your life, with your life pattern lines. And so Patrick realized, oh, well, whoa, first of all, we got to get all your life talents available. So now we're going, all right, now remember, traveling in the quantum state or being in different places, you are there simultaneously. So now instantly reflect back to you in 2018 in the body, 1, 2, 3. All right, now we're going to pulse this gateway. Now that we have that referenced, we always use heaven first. And then 1, 2, 3, we project this and it goes boop, 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 like a pulse wave in a quantum state of a fractal nature. 1, 2, 3. Now, it just goes boom. Each oomph is a life that it goes to the gateway of, because we're talking about going through the veil of life and death. All right, so now that same barking dog, every timeline. Oh God, that's a joke. We keep hearing a dog barking in Atlantis. Okay, so now you see how we've done that? We've pulsed this. So you have this gate system. And let's see, everything's working well. Okay, good. Religion should be a way of life. Yes, that's right. So you've got this gate system, right? And it's just these pulse gates through the different lives. And we did this back to about 14,000 years, remember? Atlantean pattern. Now we have a reference, right? We've triangulated this coordinate. So we've actually done this, right? And so as you do this, which is a little different, now you have this reference that can go. And so you've got this structure, and this is going into the past. So now what we're doing, and we're going to just leave this with you guys for time's sake, is this is going to just remain as a structure for you. You'll be able to go, and do you remember what we said yesterday for those who are on? If you guys want to access a talent or an ability, and you're like, oh God, if I only knew how to do herbs and fix and heal or do vibration, then you can go and you feel like you just have this innate knowing, or you probably that you're feeling what you did before. And so it's like, okay, here we go. And so what you do is you just quietly get into still point, right? Soul self, still point, we'll call it the same thing right now. And so then imagine if you've got the still point in the soul, then you get to see God. And so as you do this, then you get to go to that life that would be a particular one where you were a master herbologist. As you go into there and you go that place, start breathing the breath of that incarnation. So you are actually joining lives between timelines by breathing them. And so as you do this, right, yes, you can tell this is not normal technique, but it's necessary for engineering purposes. You see how this goes from the higher self to that earth life? And now we go from here pretty soon to this spiritual life on Atlantis to your present earth life. And that's where the crossover is going to happen that we're going to do today, so that you will have a divine spiritual life of destiny in every incarnation. That is the new past self. All right, so as we do this, we're going to open the gates now. We pulsed it, remember? The gates do not mess up. And so we create this pulse gate, and this is through the God life or the soul, right? And so the higher self then gets to go all the way back. And so we have this pulsing vibration of gateways that then go back to the 14,000 years ago mark. Right, so now you can access this and this, but let's get this activated. So as we affect this, now if you go back here and affect this, here's the weird timeline wonkiness. So then this changes this, and now you have these different layers of time, right? And this can bring you up here. And then this brings this, and it changes this over here. But don't look too much into that right now. We're keeping it simplified. And so just know that this you that is on the broadcast is the primary reference being. And let's get a different pen. And so as we do this now, you can have access to this you self, the earthly self, and then you have the soul self, which is there. But now it's time to energize the higher self patterns of incarnations that did not incarnate. So in some ways, this doesn't have a life cycle that's the same. Then you can access it here or wherever. So this is like trading places. So this looks like this. You have your light life of the higher nature. And so this is the heaven life, the higher self. And then this is the earth self. And this is the soul self, right? And it's going back. But the earth self, earth life, then gets, if we go back and we trade this kind of like a flipping around, then this becomes basically your heavenly spirit life on earth, the one that you were denied. Because you are fulfilling these things. If you're coming back here to get a piece of information and it affects your evolution now, you can bet it's sending a ripple back, thus completing the covenants that were not allowed before. So as you do that, then you get to go and have this different what once was, and this then allows you to have the greater possibility. Remember, we did the white timeline. So white time was the thing that then was the unfettered continuum of perfection. So you can call it fifth dimensional or white time. And so we brought that in, remember, and getting rid of all the screwy stuff because it was such a stupid mess. Yes, that was a prejudicial statement, but it was stupid. We can use the technical term of stupid because really, technically, it was stupid because really it was kind of stupid the way they made it so stupid. So yes, we can say that. And so many times we were doing it for every dimension. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Okay, all right, all right, ready, get back. Hey, Greece, it's stupid. Hey, Byzantium, it's stupid. Oh, that was an East Coast accent that slipped in. Oh no, Vinny, run. And so the divine earth life, right? Earthly life becomes divine because remember the past is different. And then your heavenly life becomes physical. So this then changes things, doesn't it? You didn't have to go through the shadow patterns of like, oh my God, war and ancestral stuff, because many of you were your own ancestors. It's like, oh my God, this sucks. So we take out the OMGTS, this sucks, and then we bring it in this other stuff, right? And it's like, okay, cool. Now you have a different reference. You see how that works with the new past self? This reference here then establishes that construct, right? This is the first part of your Macabic self. So as we do that then, we got this geometry. So just by doing that, even if we didn't do anything right now, it would literally be this automatic. So as your soul self comes into the present and your pasts, and we won't look at you looking at yourself from the Atlantean life, because then you'd look at your future self in this now as you look at your past self in this now. And so we're going to keep it very simple because your brains are still wired for linear. The concept of that oneness becoming bigger and bigger, the eternal moment, is happening, but it's not fair to suddenly say, okay, there is no time. And it really doesn't apply yet, does it? Because things are ever watches and there's clocks. This thing takes this long to go this way. It is really a reference, even though beings say, oh, it's an illusion. Yeah, tell that to somebody who's waiting for a train. And so as you do this, then you get to go back, bring your soul self to the Atlantean pattern. Now, okay, so now on the count of three, we're going to open up the gateway, because we have the time, to Atlantis. So the Golden Gate, right? We open it up, and on the count of three, we're all going to project down on the higher timeline of your higher self. So we're actually collapsing the gate system, bringing the 2 points together. Kalis will know this. And so as we do this then, we bring this together, you join the 2 points, that's the shortest distance between two points. You just join them, you don't travel. And so then it becomes one, because if you hit the resonant frequency, boom, you're there. And that's not to be out playing, messing with stuff. This is just to let you know, because you're going to have these skill sets soon. And as you do this now, see this golden age open up in the higher self council. Feel it. As we do this, we open up and expand your sight. And now we expand it out, and you're looking at the age of Atlantis. So tell us on the chat what you see, or you can report it to us sometime. And so as this divinity then expands out of you in your soul self in the ancient civilization where it didn't mess up yet, now we're going to open the gateway below all of you and as a collective. Don't you feel that in some ways it was a collective soul covenant that you were all here? And so we open this gateway and you go to the new past self, which is already different before we did any of this. And now you have this soul essence energy and it becomes a new past self because remember, you're garnering all of your collective talents throughout every life. So then this is like the harvest of lives. As you do this then, this pattern being complete, it can still exist, but it is not the thing which binds you. All right, so now you open up into the book of records, the hall of records. We're going to open up your soul covenants of the future. All right, now contemplate this. The future soul covenants are the ones that you will have lived from this now as a reference. So 1, 2, 3, we open this up. And now it's not for you to look, oh God, I was this peasant girl or something in the year 10,000 BC or something. This is about literally being able to have access to those records. And now we take this and we're going to allow the soul self to then come in and create this divine thing. So basically it's trading places between heaven and earth on a personal level. Does that make sense? And what is your opinion about that? So, shimmering. Yes, it was before it all fell. Remember, we talked to them and said, guys, if you do this, you're the ones who are going to incarnate because we don't need to be here. Here's the keys to your density that's going to happen. Because you say, oh, you get to incarnate. Yay. I don't want to do that. Well, hello. Our bill is waiting for you before you even start. And we've already added the interest for your convenience. So as we do this, we now take that golden energy and we're going to bring it forward to this life of the 2018. Are you ready for that? So this is actually your skill set pre-fall that you had to do is incarnate. Da, 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 da. Remember, your life cycles were much longer in Atlantis and Lemuria. So a normal life cycle could be 1,000 or 5,000 years because those civilizations were a million years type of thing. So it's a relative thing. And so, how are you guys doing? And now we bring that golden age life, not for the planet, up. You merge with that, right? And now we're going to have you be joining with your current ISL. It's dogs and ducks. They're over there having a good time. And so 1, 2, 3, just bring it forward, the golden ages. Now this is going to open up a lot of, oh my God, really, this is what happened. So you might get the soap opera that wasn't available before. Just saying. Okay, how are you guys doing? White pyramids, yes, aqua waters, a lot of it. Well, the Great Pyramid of Giza had a rainbow marble, a white marble on it, and the capstone was gold glass, so it would be like a smoky gold, that's kind of a translucent see-through. And that thing connected right into the cosmos, but it was also designed to allow for a smoother fall. So the flip of the thing made it necessary to build these devices to keep the orbit from, wobbling out because it wasn't supposed to be spun out like other has happened in the world. And so the 8,000 temple structures in the Mayan area, South America, 4,000 or so mounds in the east coast of the United States, which had risen. And so that's when the Bering Strait was a landmass and there was a transgression for the refugees that did the exodus without a ship. Oh God, where's my a Coke and a smile. I don't have my mana. Now I gotta actually grow food. And so um, bring it forward. Take that gold feeling, right? And now see yourself coming to your higher self. Okay, in this now, but you bring in that feeling. So come on, just now you're the golden Atlantean being in that soul self level because you've traveled this divine timeline of destiny. Now you're here in this present above the God gate. 1, 2, 3, merge the higher self, soul self, with your soul self on earth. 1, 2, 3. Right? So now we're going to take this and we're going to create a trajectory over to that Atlantean divinity. So 1, 2, 3, we open that gateway. Yay, gateways galore. And so here we go, creating this like this fractal pulse. And now this is here. And so as this does this, right, you got this triangulation going on. And now up here, be above your higher, this body self, right? And we're going to create the pulse to the gateway to your earthly Atlantean timeline moment self. So now you are pulsing this, right? This is here to your present self, and this is back and forth like a pulsation mechanism. This recalibrates you so that you can basically not have to deal with all that density, because if your frequency is not going to be compromised, will you stay in that high vibrational state, because you won't be needed to do the rescue kittens in the trees dimension. Does this make sense? You can respond on the chat. You guys, you're still going, oh yeah, Atlanta's yummy. Oh yeah, smoking. Guys, you can bring that here, right? The technology is showing up in the computers and graphics and everything, where if you can visualize that, and you know people that have those graphics, go to secondlife.com and they will very cheaply create these worlds for you, this virtual world that you can take your avatar in and spend way too much time on your computer and realize, oh yeah, I got to have a body and a day job. So that's available too. But just know that these dimensions are coming in, because you're talking about collapsing of these different layers of reality, because they won't be needed to be separate anymore, will they? So you see all the profound stuff that's here? So now you can access any of these, this, right? So it's like, and this is the masculine feminine balance, because it's changing. It's not about, oh, I'm going to have to change my gender. It's about the balance of the kinetic and the potentiality. And so what am I going to do to actualize something in relation to that energy, which is the allowance of the receptive energy before it's actually the projection energy? That's the subtle sciences that you will be in balance, taking with you and showing the gods how to actually have a masculine feminine principality, because they're going to have those qualities in order to descend into a physical world, that you are preparing the way for them. How are you guys doing? And so that's all. You're right, Ananda. It is in the now. So we're going to be projecting a future thing next week. But on Tuesday, on the 7th, we will be introducing the fractal breathing to Lauren Gailey's show on quantum conversations. That will begin a webinar that will help those people get their new earth self, because they're not doing this show usually. And so it's another way, and some tweaking and refining, so that then they can go, okay, so if the webinar can go out, there's only a few days left, then people can have that available. So Patrick has to design that, precipitate that for the audience that will be, to find out what they want and turn it into something that they can then be a part of. Some of you have asked, oh, what's the cost on all of this? That is a separate thing, because it's part of that quantum conversation show. So you're basically getting the same thing. Now you can then sign up for that. Anyway, it will be decided probably tonight with much less sleep. So we are complete. This combines all of this stuff and the trading places of this reality then allows this to become this to become this. And so all of this, your soul self was necessary, which we don't show on the introductory evenings, because for them to just contemplate themselves as humans is enough, isn't it? It's not really comprehensible, and it doesn't honor the situation so much. If we suddenly said, okay, you are God. What? Really? Cool. Yeah. Okay. Tune in next week when we tell you that you are God. And then, oh yeah, and then the week after, we're going to tell you that you are God again. It's like, okay, there has to be some level of process that these humans require. Otherwise, we just zap you and say, here it is, flash drive in the head. Okay, done, next. But that's not fair to you, is it? And so, how are you guys doing? Please respond on the chat. Yeah, so Susie Walsh was the one that we invented the fractal breathing for. And we can describe it briefly. And so we're going to be integrating it into this thing. Okay, and so colors haven't been assigned to it yet, but just think of chakra order. All right, so fractal breathing is like a child's toy. So you have these rings, these stacked toys that stacked on top of each other that kids used to play with. And so it had this pole in the middle and this thing that held it all. And so with Susie, we realized that she had gone out a great distance in the incarnations to go through her experiential passions, right? So then she is now disconnecting from that. How many of that happening with you? So now she's going back. This is like an in-breath, out-breath. As you come in, what is this pole? That is the reference that goes through all of it. So if you look at this as dimensional possibilities for yourself, this is literally your soul, like the universal pole. So then this allows for recalibration. So now we're getting aligned with the soul self, all these evolutions of the experiences are complete. So now you're going to go up to this one, right? So now you come out here, but you don't need to travel as far. So then there's a shorter distance because it's a fractal thing. And you go out, you did this experience and all of that. And so Susie's completing with that. So now she gets to come back in this in-breath, which may feel like you're becoming catatonic and useless and disconnecting, but actually you're becoming available to your true vibration. To be recalibrated so you can go up to the next one, which is a little less. And so Susie has been, her assignment was to perfect this in a way, and she can tell you what's been happening. It's like even to the Susie Walshes, yes. Yes, Virginia, there's a Santa Claus, and we did acid with him. And so now, a little less. So each time you get recalibrated on the soul level, you get to this plane, and this plane, and this plane, and this plane. Pretty soon, you're in a quickening state, right? And so now, here you go. Oh, boy. So this is a process that we created so that you can actually have a quicker ascension to go up the Jacob's ladder using yourself as the ladder, your soul. And so this is what we will apply this month to this. And then when you get to that top level, then ta-da, right? You're in a very interesting spatial reality. Does that make sense? And how does that sound like a technique? Yeah, baby. Can your cosmos do this? And so this then, for instance, Randy, Bigfoot, oh, I've got a disease out here, right? And this is my reflection, and this is what the earth says I got, and I got all this weird crap going on. Remember, this is what you talked about to us and to Patrick in a text, and we scanned it. Okay, if you come back here and you're no longer in that plane of disease, then you go, oh, I'm starting to heal. And because I changed the dynamics of everything from the relationship to myself to the relationship to that as a teacher, all that stuff. So then, as you do that, then, okay, I don't even need the imprints anymore. You get into the energetics. Oh, I don't need that anymore. So this is literally a way to perfect yourself. Add this with this, and we will be broadcasting to the members of the new earth. So how are you guys doing? Yes, quantum field generator. Patrick has it with the tabernacle, but he hasn't even ever had a chance to bring out the tabernacle. 28-foot tenting system, so there wasn't a place to put it. He's got it ready to put up, but it's like, okay, because that's a tenting system like the tabernacle for the Ark of the Covenant. But everything is being redefined. Your whole reality is now at a place where you are no longer bound to the conventions of your current and previous perceptions. This includes the journey of many lives. As you do this, you get to review, re-reference, fulfill whenever your existence, whenever you are, and this then completing that, completes that cycle, so then no longer being bound by that version of who you've been, now allows for this greater version, and you get to keep coming into a more and more divine state, because how many of you are so done with this weird game of polarity and detraction and negativity? So then, oh, I'm going to go hide out in the mountains. Really, good luck with that, because you'll have to bring yourself with you. Oh, God. And then, so you might as well just get ready for the new earth, like what you're doing. Your support financially is allowing Patrick to do this, so it's been really great for him to be able to continue. He didn't know if he could, but you guys made it possible, because now we've addicted you properly. And it's like, oh my God, Kartron, show us how to fractally breathe us the heck out of here. And so, all of this and more, all exciting things. Still, the free broadcasts are available, and so you can still get your energetic hit. And so we'd like to thank you for attending this August 5th, 2018 broadcast from Oswald Park Lake, somewhere near Birmingham, Alabama. And so on this journey, Patrick is also discovering the other stuff that he revealed on the 4th of July, but that too is changing, and he cannot discuss it yet because he's still getting all of these pieces in. And when he does, it will be made available to you, because it's time for you to be a free being on every level, even from your self-restriction. So thank you, guys. This is complete. And so the Lauren Gailey Show, Patrick will look at that next and see how to sign up, and then we can put it into a newsletter, and that will be on Tuesday evening, and then that will start the Wednesday thing if there's time. This is Kartron. Have a wonderful day and a beautiful ascension. Yeah, baby. Life is good. This is really cool. I got to show you guys. This is like really neat. This would have been the reflection, but the fountain shut off. I thought, oh, great. So this is, isn't that neat if I hold it still? It's just so peaceful. So I saw this spring. This is a spring here of some sort. And so, guys, how was that? Wasn't that cool? Pretty interesting, this process. I mean, this is stuff that you're not going to recover from. And who would want to anyway? It's like, whoa, this whole thing is pretty cool. And so thank you very much for showing up. We are going to be going and trying to travel and just see how to get there. Life is good. Everything's perfect. What a beautiful park. I want to thank the God, whatever beings helped make this. It's really good. And thank you for helping to make the Kartron experience an ongoing reality. This new sovereign process is really interesting. And if you, well, we'll show you what's happening, because even that's changing. For those that have heard about things, then it may be true or maybe not, but I'm not going to share it until I know for sure and can place my my energy being able to share it with you in a way that I'm confident. So we'll see you guys later. I'm going to travel west further. Life is good. Yay, is everything good for you? Okay. Yeah, we are a great team. And okay, good. So this, you're getting it. See, Donna and Ananda. It's like you guys are becoming the fulfillment of the prophecy. Excuse me, but that's pretty fucking awesome. And it's like, yeah, baby, I am the change that I needed to see because it's like my life sucked. So do you guys see how there was a holding pattern for a lot of you? It's like, God, nothing's happening. That's because this had to recalibrate. So your patience is being rewarded. And now the stuff that's coming in is so far advanced, like with the Susie section, it's like, oh my God, fractal breathing. That's like the four breaths of soul, the fractal breathing, the God gate, the pillar transformation, and the, um, anyway, it's like, wow. So I'm like, whoa, we really are creating this new thing. On some levels, I think that the timelines are so aligned that we are literally able to bring it in from other levels much more. It was not available for a 3 or 4 year section, but now it's starting to become available again. When I was on Maui, it was easy because it was quiet. I had a couple decades of quiet that I could sit there and design these foundational teachings that Kartron could then share with the world. But now it's showing up again, but in a better, faster, like a freaking bionic cell. So this is what you guys are a part of. And I want to thank you for that. So life is good. I'll see you guys later. Oh, yeah.